What is going on, everybody? My name is Nick, and I want to welcome you back for another one of my album reviews. We're taking a look at the newest album from Block B, which is kind of different from what they've released previously, but I would say that it is completely opposite of kind of what you would expect from Block B. And I'll tell you why exactly, because as far as the content and the makeup of this album, it's not really too much drastically different from what they've done. But if you listen to Block B, fairly regularly, and you're, a serious fan of them, then, from my perspective, because I've listened to a lot of their albums in the past, I like them a lot. But they've chosen to promote this album with what in the past has been their album tracks, right? So if you listen to their, promotion tracks for their albums previously, they're wild, they're crazy, they're insane, they're super, full of energy and, up-tempo, aggressive kind of songs. This one, they've gone with some of the R&B, whatever sorts of songs that they promote or that they put on their albums as to fill out the rest of their album listing for their, mini album or whatever that they've chosen to listen to or, chosen to make this album out of. For this one, they're promoting it with those sorts of songs, which is good. That is very, very good. It's different, but at the same time, it still has that Block B feel to it that people who are fans would know, and people who are casual fans would be like, wow, this is something that's completely very, very different than what I would expect. So that is good. When you get into it, though, you get some stuff that is definitely very, very similar to what you would normally see from Block B. And that's great. And then there's some other things that you wouldn't particularly expect, I think, but then again, I'm not the biggest Block B fans or follower, and I'm not really that familiar with everything that they do or all of the things that they do, like there's not an official release. So my intimate knowledge of the group is non-existent. I have just a basic knowledge as someone who listens to them as just a fan of K-pop and, kind of have to notice the big popular groups. But two songs really that I would like to highlight and talk about. And that is that solo song by Tail, and holy God, if there's anybody that needs to have some solo releases after this, it's this guy. After listening to this song, I'm like, I need a solo release. Zico can just hit the pause button for a minute, and then we could get a solo album from Tail. Please. I want to hear what this guy can do, because this song that he's done is great. It's really, really good. His singing is great too. I really love it. I've fallen in love with this song specifically on the entire album. I mean, all of the songs on this album are, really good, and songs that I really, really love. I think that these are my favorite group of Block B songs ever. And that's definitely saying something. That's kind of like what you would want when you release an album too, as a K-pop group that's been around for a while but still not that long compared to some others. You want to continue to improve as time goes on, and Block B's done that with this album, I think. And it's really great. And then the second song, we've got that song that's by B-Bomb and Yukwon, and I don't really know what specifically to say about this song, because one, I haven't particularly scripted this video out, but two is because this is like what should have been released instead of Block B Bastards, which Bastards is like supposed to be a proper Block B comeback release if Zico wasn't off doing solo promotions for 2 years or however long it was. I think that this duo here should have been like that subunit or that project group that released something, but they have to have a proper Block B comeback. But like, if you're gonna have a Block B subunit, I want to see these two guys put out another song, because this song is like Block B, but it's also really, really different. In a way, like it has that Block B kind of like attitude and feel to it, but at the same time, it's something that is still, noticeably different. And, but then again, it's still really, really impressive that they put out a song that is so awesome and so much fun to listen to and great. And you just like, I rock out to this song when I listen to it. It's done by these two guys, and they carry this song with so much attitude. It's crazy. It's really, really great. And this is me as a casual fan of Block B. The hardcore fans probably like, well, yeah, Nick, of course, this is what they do, this is who they are, but they don't get to showcase it so much as a member of Block B as the entire group. And I'm like, that's exactly the reason why then that they should have a subunit, right? That they should just do that they should have a duet, and they should do this sort of music, have an entire album of it. It would be fantastic. I would love it. It would be really, really great. And then, of course, on top of those two songs, you got Walking in the Rain, which is like an R&B sort of song, pretty kind of normal, typical of what you would hear as an album track on other previous Block B albums. But I mean, overall, right, this album is really, really great. And when I said, like I said, when it was opposite, it was more of like how they are promoting and how this album is made up of like your genres and styles of music, because it's kind of like I said, it's opposite from what previous Block B albums are like, and then on top of that, you've got two songs on here that are like things that people have not heard in an official release before, and now I want to hear in an official release, and I want these members to have an entire album to themselves. I want Taeil to have a solo album, and I want B-Bomb and Yukwon to have a subunit together to show us what they can do on their own. I think that both of those would be fantastic, and it definitely would be something that I think that with 7 seasons, right, should look to branch out, because I'm not entirely sure who else they've got signed to their roster, but it's pretty slim. So give us a bit of a variety, get them some variety and within the company to an extent, and just seeing what there is. Man, they could have constant activity within the company if they just decided that they wanted to promote these sort of subunits if they wanted to. So that's interesting things. I don't know. So overall, of course, how I would spend my money, my final review or my score, you could say, is I'm gonna buy this at some point, and I'm gonna say this for probably for a couple of other albums up until I get the money secured, or until we go to KCON, because that's kind of what I'm trying not to spend all my money on albums before I go to KCON. But it's definitely going on my list, on my to buy list. When it's going to happen, I don't know. It's not going to be a super high priority for me, but it definitely is going to be higher up on the list than most. So that's always good. So there we go. That's my album. That's my album review. What did you think of this album? What do you think about those solo songs you got from a couple members that are not including the entire group? Let me know down in the comment box below, or on social media on Twitter and Facebook. There's links to all of my profiles down in the description box below. So that is going to be it for this video. As always, I want to thank you for watching, and I'll see you all next time. Goodbye. We're going to listen to this a few more times, and then we're going to get back, and I'm going to get back to you with my final thoughts. Alright, so we are back. I've listened to it a couple more times, and as always, one of the times that I listen to it, I always want to just close off the music video and just listen to the song. At least with the most recent Red Velvet song, that